Welcome to This Week in Vexly. Starting off, we will review our ideas from last week. First idea we liked was a long on Apple. Based on the gamma profile we mentioned, we liked 180 to act as support for a bounce based on positioning. On Tuesday, we saw positioning roll lower, which flipped 180 into resistance and allowed price to move lower. From Monday's open to low of week, Apple was down 3%. Next, we liked Square as a long last week, but mentioned the peak gamma levels at 60 and 65, which we saw 65 act as resistance early in the week, but also saw price hold above 60 into the end of the week. From Monday's open to high of week, Square was up 1.56%. Now let's get into our Fed and liquidity recap from last week. Starting with CB swap lines, we saw another down week, but moving to our overnight repo auctions, we actually saw some buying at the end of week. This is something to note, because this buying can take a day or two to have an effect on markets. Lastly, we have the Fed's balance sheet, which we saw pause on asset tapering, which is interesting to note going into next week. Moving on to our market view tool, we saw on the weekly chart that it was a negative week across all three major indices, with SPY performing the best and QQQ and IWM returning about the same for the week. Next, let's review our heat maps from Friday's close. Remember to pause the video and identify areas of interest for Monday's open. First off, we have ES, NQ, and RTY. Now let's get into our ideas for the week ahead. First idea we like is a long on MU. Market maker model has signaled long and Pluto is signaling a buy as well. Moving to our gamma profile, we can see that peak positive and negative gamma is at 65. Based on current positioning, this means 65 should act as a floor. Moving down to our Vanna profile, we want to note peak positive is set at 70 and peak negative is set at 60. Moving down to our P1 skew, we want to note it is deeply negative going into the week. Next, we have a weekly seasonality for MU. Lastly, we have our VX levels, which has a phantom wick all the way up to 67. For our second idea, we like DIS as a short. Our market maker model signaled a sell on Thursday night, but Pluto is currently neutral, therefore we will be watching this for a sell signal this week. Moving to our gamma profile, we can see peak negative and positive gamma is set at 90. This will act as a sticky area for price based on current positioning. Moving to our Vanna profile, we have peak positive set at 95 and peak negative set at 85. Moving down to our P1 skew, we can see it is deeply negative for the week, and here is the weekly seasonality for DIS. Lastly, we have our VX levels, which show a phantom wick up to 92. This aligns with the idea that we want to see move up towards 90, which we then could see a sell signal from Pluto. That's it for this week. To recap, we saw nothing new with the CB swap lines, but did see a pause in the Fed's asset tapering, along with some overnight repo buying that should have some effects going into this week. As for our trade ideas, we like MU as a long if it is above 65, and could see a possible move to 70 based on the Vanna profile. For our second trade, we like DIS as a short, but can see it having a small move higher before shorting, which means we will be watching Pluto for that sell signal. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more.